Hey everyone, we're live.
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Excellent. How's everyone doing today? My name is Recepit, and I am the mega superstar of the comic book guys working title at CKMS, Sound FM, 100.3, of course, on the FM dial. We basically come to you live every Tuesday from noon until 2. And at the top of that, if you want to hear us on the Rogers Box, you can do as such by clicking on 946. If you want to catch us on the Ustream, you can do as such by jumping on the Ustream channel, which is www.ustream.tv/channel/Recepit. That's spelled RCEHOPPE. And as I mentioned previously before, I say it too many times because it sounds so nice. My name is Recepit. Keeping us out of trouble, like always, is Mr. Candy on the actual board there. And basically, if you want to Twitter us, you can do as such by hopping on Mr. Candy's Twitter, which is Ryan_Kennedy. So today is obviously Tuesday, and it's the 28th, and we'd like to thank you very much for tuning in with us. Basically, this show covers everything, all things geeky, from comic books to movies and everything else in between.
That's right.
So we hope you could stand by and join us for this afternoon, and go along for the fun ride. So, Mr. Kennedy.
That's right.
What should we talk about first today?
Well, since we have the nice WWE logo here, around if you're watching on the Ustream, having a nice peek into our studio here. We have a nice backdrop here of the WWE logo. So wrestling is one of the things we consider under the geek umbrella. And we just love talking about it. So we are one of the first shows to be able to have a chance to recap Monday Night Raw that took place last night. So there was actually two great promos that took place last night, I felt. One between Chris Jericho and CM Punk, and the other between John Cena and The Rock. Did you get a chance to witness one or the other?
Well, yeah, I saw the whole thing. Unfortunately, my good friend, I'm not, how can we say this, overly enthused with last night's performance.
No?
I personally thought that a lot left to be desired, but however, it is what it is as we walk into the last, 4 weeks before the big WrestleMania show.
Road.
And as we talked about several times before in different broadcasts, it just seems to be the same old, if you know what I mean.
Are you getting sick of CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan?
Well, that's the funny part. We have probably the two very best, do we call them entertainers or performers these days?
I think they like to call themselves wrestlers.
I dig it. So we have the two best wrestlers.
That's right.
Within the WWE, wrestling it out for everyone to see, and we are into part 3 for everything. And when it really comes down to it, nothing has been resolved. It seems to be we have Dan O'Brien and we have the CM Punk basically putting on the best show they possibly can, and it just seems to be, how can we say this, stalling for time as the plot takes part in the background, and we all know which direction that's going in if you watched the actual showing last night. Such as an example, Teddy Long shows up in red, and you have Mr. John Laurinaitis showing up in blue, and of course one wants to run both of them, and the other one wants to run both shows as well. So it's sort of interesting on how things are going to be. My predictions, maybe a bit of a spoiler for those people who haven't been watching, I think Teddy Long is going to go to Raw, and I think that John Laurinaitis is going to head on off to SmackDown.
Well, there was a WWE.com announcement earlier this morning stating.
Oh, did you catch that actually?
Yeah,
because they were really blowing up out of proportion.
Yeah, so you saw that too. That's what you're referencing. They're actually going to switch shoes for a week, and for just a week, like a trial period, just to see how, if each other is able to manage the other's show, see who does the better job.
And who called that? I called it. I called that. So it should be interesting. Should be very, very interesting how that's all going to play out. Personally, I think Teddy Long on Raw would be an absolutely fantastic addition. There's a lot of people who are quote-unquote brand loyal, and I've always considered SmackDown to be the better show. But however,
B standing for better, right? The B show is the better show.
Pretty much. But however, it should be interesting how Teddy Long works with the rest of the Raw group. I personally think should go off quite well, unless of course Teddy Long needs a lot of cuts in between stuff, if you know what I mean. So it should be interesting.
Well, Teddy Long, he's been general manager of SmackDown for forever, really.
That's
like,
right.
One of the longest running GMs.
So
that
it's
they've
kind of funny if
seen.
they. So finally, just finally, Teddy Long gets moved up to the Raw show, which is live, and of course I like the whole aspect of a show being live versus taped. But on top of that, SmackDown's been live a couple of times throughout the last little bit.
Live always adds an extra nice little special feeling to the show.
You got
because
it.
anything could happen. You know, it's
For sure. I personally think that just looking at everything I'm seeing, I think that Teddy Long may be a really good fit for the Raw show, and John Laurinaitis may be a better fit for the SmackDown show. Just because the thing is that with when you tape it, you have more time to do drama stuff. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. And it should be interesting. So if that's how things are going to swing, I look forward towards seeing SmackDown and see exactly how John Laurinaitis runs the show. And also on top of that, if you've noticed, especially when the one general manager and the one interim general manager is handling talent, like as an example, John Laurinaitis is really favoring Daniel Bryan's, and of course Teddy Long is really really looking after CM Punk.
which is odd because in the past, you know, the GM would always support whoever was on their brand. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
We've had the bragging rights pay-per-view in the past where Team SmackDown would take on Team Raw.
Yeah.
But here it's weird.
Well, I'm hoping this is a good switch because I always just consider Teddy Long to be the best manager on the whole Raw roster. I mean, the whole WWE roster. And to accelerate that point, how long has been the general manager for SmackDown for?
on and off for years. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, all the way back since Eric Bischoff.
Yep. And now here comes the funny part. Who's been the longest general manager for Raw and for how long? That's the interesting part now, isn't it?
It's odd because they did the whole guest host thing for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, even let's go back all the way back to Bischoff land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who was the longest running manager since Bischoff? And we're talking what, 5, 6, 10 years, maybe 8 years, perhaps.
unless you count Vince McMahon himself, then no another.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been always switching back and forth between pineapples and apples, if you know what I mean. So it's like, all right. So I personally think Taylor will be a great mix, a great hit. And I think that the WWE, I'm on board with the WWE talent, or not the WWE talent, this actual switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping it proves prudent, because when I look at it, if you have one manager for both shows, it doesn't quite work, if you know what I mean, because each show is a little bit different. And if you get one manager for both shows, they're both called super insert brand name here, such as the Super Raw show and the Super SmackDown show, you just might as well drop drop Raw and SmackDown, just call it WWE Super Show, and have it every Tuesday, have it every Monday, followed by a Wednesday recording, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I see it. But however, it should be interesting how things work out overall, if you know what I mean.
That's right. So at least, I believe we have 3 matches booked now for WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
and those being The Rock versus John Cena, Chris Jericho versus CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. Although the last match I just mentioned, it doesn't seem like much is going on so far, other than just Sheamus making a random appearance and throwing Bryan back into the ring. Like, they gotta start building towards the
Well,
match.
yeah, exactly. You ready for this? It's how many weeks before the main show?
Well, it's April 1st, so
That's right.
a month to go, really. So hopefully things on SmackDown start, pushing
Well,
through, and
this is kind of funny because this is a really weird, jump to have, right? Like, the thing is that, do we really need to have a general manager switch right before WrestleMania? Like, it's 4 weeks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't we have, like, our WWE talent just salivating at the mouth, going, I'm going to destroy you! And the thing is that they're not. We're still talking about, there's a couple of matches for WrestleMania, and that's it.
Oh, bad. I forgot to mention Triple H versus The Undertaker is now officially official.
Oh, it's official?
Official, because he accepted last week, right? Although
Yeah.
there hasn't really been any storyline progression this week's episode of Raw. It was other than the announcement that Shawn Michaels will be making another appearance on next week's episode of Raw, so we'll see where things go.
Sounds
from
like
there.
fun and giggles, man. Here comes Shawn Michaels, and of course he's not going to get his nose in a joint, especially when you looked his best friend straight in the eye and said yes or no. And of course, what did Triple H say? no. And it was like, all right. So it takes the Undertaker to really get the momentum out of the Triple H job. but I don't know. So let's mosey on over to the other big thing quotations that took place, the John Cena versus The Rock. And my first question out of the gates here, and of course we're going to be spoiling this for all the kids who haven't quite seen it yet, and if you haven't seen it, I strongly suggest hop over to your favorite website they like to stream things with and have a quick look as we're talking, or maybe after the show, or if you really want to and really want to support it, catch the recap. The Sports Network.
Score.
Sports
4
Network,
PM.
Score. Doesn't matter anymore. You know what I'm talking about. All the fans know what I'm talking about. But however, here is the better question. What did you think between John Cena and The Rock?
I was thinking at the beginning, The Rock just didn't know what to say. I mean, he was just working the crowd a little. I was just waiting for him to start, doing what he does best, which is just smack talking. But
Yeah.
I thought it was quite interesting though when this John Cena did come out, and kind of.
Do you think that's rehearsed, or do you think it's a shoot or an actual work?
Well, rumors floating around is that I guess The Rock doesn't realize that Monday Night Raw is now broadcast in high definition television. And
Oh, did you see that too?
I
Did
guess
you
little
see-
notes on his wrist.
Oh no! My good friend, I'm not quite sure if you noticed this. That's the funny part. I was looking for the notes myself, and I really couldn't find anything. Did you see anything in your high definition television at home? No. neither did
Unfortunately, I
I.
don't have the score in HD. But
Yeah.
for those that did, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
kind of
pretty
cool.
sure.
Twitter us in
did.
if you don't mind. It's basically hit us on the social network, which is Kennedy_Ryan, or as Ryan likes to call it, Ryan_Kennedy. Dyslexia. And the thing is that let us know if you saw it or not, because one thing I did notice that a lot of people didn't quite kick in yet. Did you see The Rock's eyes, even on 9 high def? Ed?
What were they, glazed over? Or
They were
just,
red.
They were red. Maybe,
They were beet red.
maybe he was on a little something.
A little something. But his eyes were so red it was crazy. I'm hoping it's just my television set. But however, for all those kids at home that may not understand that, there's either one or two things. Either The Rock is really, really tired, or he was taking part in some form of marijuana, or he was drinking. One or the other. But the bottom line is both of his eyes were just beet red. Because if you look back at the footage and compare it to his super white teeth, you'll see a contrast, if you know what I mean. But yeah, just I really thought when The Rock came out and started talking and stuff like that, he just seemed to be floating all over the place. And on top of that, when John Cena came in the ring and does what he does, it really sounded like The Rock kind of like tripping up on himself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting if that was an actual slip up on Dwayne Johnson's behalf, or did John Cena just shake him so badly that he wasn't expecting it that he screwed up his own promo?
I think he was shooting on him when he came out because of some of the stuff he said.
Yeah. So that whole stuff should be interesting, because speaking about stuttering and so forth, which I do from time to time, the whole confrontation between Chris Jericho and CM Punk. If you notice, you have CM Punk stuttering a couple of times, and at the same time having Chris Jericho, crystal clear in what he was saying, very much on the ball, the whole 9 yards. The question I have to ask is that did CM Punk actually make that a work versus a shoot? You know what I mean? Because the way I see it is that CM Punk is very illiterate. He doesn't really stumble that much. And to have 2 stumbles in one particular, shoot between, or segment with Chris Jericho, I personally think that it was actual work. Because, CM Punk hardly ever does that. And of course, what needs to be happening right now is that, a lot of talking heads on the YouTube and other stuff like that are actually noticing that, going, oh, Chris Jericho is the better entertainer / wrestler because he didn't stutter yesterday and on live air and blah, 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 blah. It's like, all right, wait a minute here. And also, I thought it was very interesting that once again, CM Punk does a curtain jerk. You know what I mean?
Coming out at the beginning?
Yep. Because usually that stuff is saved for the end. So there's been some rumblings, I'm pretty sure you heard about this, Mr. Kennedy, about how CM Punk is just not making the draw on the TV, so you got to leave your superstar stuff at the end. And it's sort of interesting because, back in the day, when you were a champion, you had all of the right I's dotted and all the T's crossed properly, if you know what I mean. So the thing is that
what should have been the main event is what kicked off Raw, which was champion versus champion.
yeah, exactly. And then a dialogue between Chris Jericho and CM Punk, you know what I mean? Like that could have been very solid, but it just seems to be the WWE is playing it so safe by having John Cena and The Rock at the end there. It's like, what's up with that type of thing? And plus on top of that, when The Rock came out with all of his goosebumps up and down the people's forearm there, it's sort of like I didn't feel anything when I was watching this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just The Rock basically saying compound pitch. You know what I mean? And everyone going, oh, that's so awesome, of course, and it's trending and everything else like that, so forth and so forth. And there was really nothing there. There was nothing. So I don't know, man. What did you think of it? Am I being a little harsh with our good friends over the WWE, or what?
I just think John Cena is speaking from his heart, and he's delivering a better promo than The Rock right now, or than Dwayne Johnson, whatever you want to call him, because I think what John Cena is saying is what he really feels, because he was saying he was a Rock fan back in the day, and so was I. And when I saw the Dwayne Johnson transformation of the movie star actor, he just kind of, in interviews, he wouldn't even mention wrestling anymore. He would kind of laugh at it like it's old and past.
Well, the way I see it is that aspect, as I stated several times before on this very show, really didn't bother me too much, you know what I mean? Because what I look at is that people move on to new careers and stuff like that. And the thing is that once you start stepping into the larger entertainment world versus the very small square circle known as wrestling, you need to let go of the old stuff. And as we talked about before, again, in previous shows, it seems The Rock is coming back to rejuvenate his actual acting career, or at least his action acting career, if you know what I mean. Because just recently, this is just another step in how The Rock is trying to take over Schwarzenegger's position, is that there's now talk of The Rock playing Hercules in a possible Hercules movie that's coming up. And of course, the funny thing is, one of the few movies Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in the day was called Hercules Goes Bananas, where he was called Arnold Strong. They had an actual voice dubbed to his voice, the whole 9 yards. And this is before Conan the Barbarian came out, and it's like, wow, Dwayne Johnson is really following in Arnold Schwarzenegger's footsteps here. So, the way I look at it, I think it's coming back for that. In my honest opinion, I personally feel there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? And of course, a lot of fans, such as yourself, feel differently, which I find to be very interesting, because, when John Cena comes and says, "You're not here every Monday night," it's like, okay, quick timeout. How long has he been saying that for?
For a while.
Exactly. So isn't there anything else in John Cena's Thugonomics bag of arsenal tricks that he could use to actually, throw something more at The Rock? You know what I mean?
No. All I know is I'm enjoying the banter back and forth, and hopefully
so am I, yeah,
the wrestling match itself, when it takes place,
it should be interesting. Like the funny thing is that I personally think that we need to get Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the one, the only, you can't see me, what's his name?
Cena.
There you go.
I forgot his name there for a moment.
What are we talking about again? I forget. Anyways, the bottom line is we need to get these guys feuding. And what's happening is that they're not. And how long has The Rock, quote unquote, been back for? It's been a while. So Rock is off shooting movies and stuff like that. That's fine. But in my standards and the way I look at the industry itself, that's fine. That's no problem. But the thing is that Dwayne Johnson is really burning the candle at both ends, because he also has to get in the game, and he's not doing that. You know what I mean? He's doing his look at my live television head and other stuff like that. So it's like, my goodness, like, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? And right now it's just words. And what holds more prudency, words or actions? Mr. Candy, word or actions?
To me, it's, I want to see The Rock more throughout the next few weeks.
He has to be there more. If it's not, the whole thing's gonna fumble, because it's sort of like, they need to do more interaction. Like, as an example, there was more interaction between that really lame plot that people are starting to forget, as example, the memory hole of WWE, between John Cena and Kane. You know what I mean? Like, that was a feud, for goodness sakes. They're battling back and forth. Of course, the subject matter is a little, iffy, slightly childish. But the bottom line is, and also, I like the word, what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh, yeah, redundant and recycled. But at least there was something there. You know what I mean? And this was a feud that built up for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Might have been lame, in my most humble and honest opinion. But the bottom line is, at least there was something there. What do we have, and just chime in anytime you want, Mr. Kennedy, okay? What do we really have between The Rock and Dwayne Johnson? What is really there?
Just two of this. We have the old versus the new. John Cena was supposed to take the torch and run with it, and I don't think the fans have, accepted this John Cena as much as they did Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock back in the Attitude Era. I mean, we need someone that can, take the ball, run with it, and reach to new levels that those two did. I mean, and then before Steve Austin and The Rock, we had Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage. So, I mean, who is the guys right now? I mean, most would say it's John Cena and Randy Orton. Those are the guys right now that are leading the company. But, I think if I went up to just an average person and asked, do you know who these guys are? They probably wouldn't. Who's Randy Orton? But everyone knows who The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin is. And
well, yeah, that was at the same time, and it's also coming from a different time period as well. Not quite a different time period. Like, here's a good example for you. Back in the Attitude Era, there weren't any wars going on or anything else like that. You know what I mean? And there wasn't, at the same time, the United States wasn't $8.2 trillion in debt and other stuff like that. So what's happening here, as far as I could tell, is that there's a lot of external stuff that's, bogging stuff down, and people are using their time more effectively, so forth and so forth. But the way I'm seeing it is that, it's just not clicking. You know what I mean? And the thing is that at the same time here, WWE sort of paint themselves in a corner, because after the Attitude Era, the man himself being the one, the only Kennedy Vincent McMahon. There you go. How's that for being backwards, huh?
I'm the one and only.
Long story short, decided to actually rebuild John Cena as an actual, full-color superhero. You know what I mean? So the thing is that those kids are growing up and they're losing interest in John Cena, but there's so much money in John Cena, it's not funny. So I personally think they have themselves in a very interesting creative problem, as I mentioned before in other previous broadcasting. And I also think that The Rock versus Cena, there's really no grid behind this. You know what I mean? Like, as an example, here's the example. Look at the feud between Jericho and CM Punk. That is building up to be a good feud.
It is, and they are two of the handful of the greatest wrestlers that are in the WWE.
They're the very best in their industry. And as far as I could tell, of course, jump in any time, Mr. Kennedy, that they're actually showcasing and actually doing the very best they could do. And they're really showing it, because, you have Chris Jericho involved in the Elimination Chamber. You have him out there interacting, week after week with CM Punk. And you got the resolution that took place yesterday on air and all this other stuff like that. And I just personally think that they're really doing, a better job with that feud. And you have, again, The Rock and also Cena basically just screaming at each other. No interaction, no talking behind the stage. It's sort of like, I'm a superstar, you're a superstar. And oh, by the way, just for the kids, we'll have a one-time only match, which is a tag team with The Rock and John Cena versus we're going to beat the snot of each other on public television, or at least at a pay-per-view or whatever. When was that match done again? I can't even remember.
Survivor Series?
Oh, was that Survivor Series? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
John Cena and The Rock versus Awesome Truth, R-Truth, and The Miz.
Yeah, and that lasted long. And also on top of that, what was one of the few matches that took place on Raw last night? It was
which one of them?
Remember one of the matches that took place? It was basically, The Miz versus John Cena, and they basically used The Miz as just a giant mop
Yeah.
to basically show exactly how deviant that is. And the thing is that was a pay-per-view WrestleMania match back like less than a year ago.
It was technically a WrestleMania rewind match. I mean,
What was it? Did they label that as such? I don't think they did.
No, they didn't.
Exactly. So the thing is that it's like through all of this, I think that the Miz is really missing out because as we talked about before, he needs to become relevant again, or he's done for. He'll be forgotten 6 months from now if he's not too careful. And right now, as far as I could tell, from the actual talent that's taking place, he's really taking a back seat. Like as an example, between the battering between again Chris Jericho and CM Punk, they even mentioned, the Miz's giant awesome balloons that come out. Yeah, and it's like, oh my God. So the thing is that here you got, they're just battering on the Miz, and there's simply nothing for him to retort against. It's like, what are they going to do? So like the way I look at this and the Miz is sort of the exact same aspect of how WWE is treating Sheamus. You know what I mean? Like when was it Randy Orton that got hurt? Who was that one wrestler that they're putting a lot of heat between Sheamus and the other guy? The other guy got hurt and he couldn't perform anymore, and Sheamus was like, just really lamely floating around until they actually found an anchor recently. You know who that was again?
Who was he feuding with?
Yeah, he was feuding with
Mark Henry, or
no? Was it Mark Henry?
Well, Mark Henry's been hurt recently too.
Yeah.
But Randy Orton's been getting hurt on and off a lot lately.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is that unfortunately I cannot recall who Sheamus was feuding before King of the Ring. You know what I mean?
Oh, before King of the Ring.
No, was it King of the Ring? No. Yes.
But for
Survivor Series. That's it. Survivor Series. Who was Sheamus feuding with that got hurt before Survivor Series? Do you know?
Sin Cara?
Is it Sin? No, it wasn't Sin Cara.
But speaking of Randy Orton, I believe he is ready back to compete from his concussion, so they're advertising him for this week's Friday Night SmackDown, so we'll see if he gets back in the ring. And because Randy Orton's kind of in limbo as well. There's he missed out on Elimination Chamber. And,
well, yeah, it's just Elimination Chamber.
What's he going to be doing at WrestleMania this year? I mean, that's the
well,
question.
the other thing is, who's he feuding with?
Yeah, right now
and the thing is
nobody.
Unless, of course, they make the heavyweight championship a triple threat, which they might be able to do to get Randy Orton back in the headline mix again.
The rumor is they're going to bring back Money in the Bank, just to give 6 to 8 people that aren't doing anything in WrestleMania a chance to actually be on the pay-per-view and not, sit in the back and cry.
So I guess the better question is that. So do you know offhand all the matches are taking place at WrestleMania at this stage of the game?
The four I mentioned, I think, are the only ones confirmed. Anything else is just.
So what are the confirmed ones again?
All right. So from what I know, it's Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship.
All right.
We have CM Punk versus Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship.
Yep.
We have Triple H versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match, and we have The Rock versus John Cena. I guess you could say in a grudge match. There's
because they're grudgy.
Just
they're mad and angry.
There's no real outcome.
There you go. So like, we're gonna fight over what? Pride? I don't know. I find the whole thing silly. And also, on that note, let's take a quick break. But however, before we do, let's basically throw something out to Bobby O'Brien's. And as we mentioned before, WrestleMania will be taking place in 4 weeks' time. And if you're in town, stop on by Bobby's, and they'll take care of you with all their wonderful, wonderful chili and nachos and stuff like that. Yum, 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 yum stuff. All right, then. So should we spend some songs and take a quick break?
Yeah, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Perfect.
小さいなってくんなになになになになになになになに「
Hey everyone, we're back. I
Yay!
hope you've been enjoying those Vocaloid songs because I saw last weekend we just had a chance to see a lot of what Vocaloids dressed up, and that would be at Kanji.
What's a Vocaloid for the people that are just tuning in for the very
I don't
first
know
time, my
if you
friend?
saw those people dancing at Kanji in those uniforms.
Can you physically explain what they look like?
Well, Hatsune Miku has the blue hair,
Okay.
long blue hair, and then she's kind of in the I would say like a modified schoolgirl's outfit. But there was a lot of people getting together to dance together as Vocaloids. A lot of people dressed up. I noticed.
Well, at an anime convention, you usually have that, correct?
yeah.
So,
Just a nice segue into Kanji, which me and Recepid had an awesome time at, getting to go down there. And, well, just going up, it's just in Guelph, so if you're in the Waterloo region, it wasn't too far away. And it was their 4th year, and it was their biggest year yet. I believe the attendance was around 1,000, so great job.
that's not too
to-
bad,
to
eh?
all of them for having a record-breaking year. So yeah, definitely a whole bunch of events took place, like cosplay chess, bunch of panels, workshops, like Q&As with the guests, with like Kyle Hebert, for example. Workshops such as a plushie making workshop where you could make people were making little onigiris, happy onigiris. You know, they
Would
had
you
all the
like to explain to
materials.
people what a plushie is?
Yeah, well, they had the felt there, different colored felt, and they had.
Is it like a
pattern.
stuffed toy, Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, you got it.
There you
go. You basically made it. They had the step-by-step instructions and teaching you how to sew. So for someone like me that's never really done that before, it was definitely something different.
Dig it. So,
But yeah, lots of panels, workshops. A lot of guests from the States came up, talk about anime, video games, and just general geek stuff. Of course, there was a masquerade, an awesome dance took place, an evil laughter contest, which apparently the Dalek won. From what I heard.
actually won that?
I think so, as what I heard. A lot of people were trying out for best evil laugh.
Dig it.
Also, the Game Asylum was also there, doing what they do best, which is, lots of awesome new gen games on the big plasma screens they got,
Mm-hmm.
doing Rock Band and Halo and Gears of War.
Everyone's all in the trailer and stuff like that, keeping warm in the sub-zero temperatures, and also at the same time there. We're very fortunate to have a interview with the one, the only Kyle Herbert.
Yeah, that's right. He's a great guy, and he's voiced so many different anime characters and video game characters too throughout his career.
Would you like to give the kids some of his resume work?
Well, just off the top of my head, he's done Team Gohan
Mm-hmm.
and the narrator from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
He's done Kiba from Naruto, and just so many to the list. He actually had a funny panel called Dragon Ball Z Roast, and what he did was, I don't know if you had the chance, and if you have, I feel sorry for you, the Dragon Ball Z Evolution live-action movie.
Oh God,
One
that
of
was
the
horrible.
worst things ever produced, and I remember waiting years for that movie to come out, and oh man.
When it finally did come out, it was like,
And it
what
finally came out, and I
happened?
was like, yeah.
What is this? The worst movie ever. But however,
Good
Mr.
job,
Kennedy,
20th Century Fox. But yeah, basically he just roasted the movie while everyone watched it and had a good time. So just another few other things they did have there was the 404s did their comedy routine. Let's see here.
404 to their comedy routine, plus on top of that they had tons of cosplayers that came up, even from the general areas in Southern Ontario and also from the States as well. Just, a great time overall. Also on top of that, we had Tom Savage show up, which is a Savage Bandito, and completely incognito, which was a last minute get, which was fantastic. Plus on top of that, you also had Ninja with a Soul Patch, followed up by Squiggles, which is a friend of Ninja with a Soul Patch. And plus on top of that, you also had All Frost that showed up, and of course all the people we just recently mentioned also have to be guests of the show as well. So all those guys were all on hand to have a fantastic time, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that Ninja the Soul Patch actually won the Masquerade with his bit with Squiggles and with All Frost.
I believe he won one of the categories. There's a bunch of different awards given out, so I believe he won one of them. That's right.
Yep. Do you know which? Do you know the different categories there were this year?
Not off the top of my head. I think there's like best newcomer, best. There's a whole bunch of different categories. So there's a real chance that even if it's your first time, there's a good chance that if you do your best at your costume and your performance, you'll walk away with the prize.
Yep. And on top of that, they had a bunch of fantastic sponsors. Again, at the Game Asylum that showed up, they also had Queen of Hearts, which was a fantastic game, was a fantastic costume shop, and the Uptown Core of Waterloo. Plus, on top of that, Neo Tokyo, the anime store also showed up. So it was really good. The thing is, this was a 2-day show, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
I do believe that talks could possibly be in place for a 3rd-day show.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is pretty good. And also through all this as well, they also had the Pokemon trainers, who happen to be our good friends over at Control A, and they were there on hand to do their thing. And basically, all that stuff was just tons of fun. So with all that being said, everyone had a great time, which was awesome, and it was all good for everybody. So, what did you think? What was your favorite part of Kanji this year?
Huh. That's a good question. It's always nice to come to a convention and see all the awesome cosplays, and I mean they have the dealer's room. That's great place for people to shop when if you live in a city and there's no premier anime store such as like Neo Tokyo in London. You need to find a place where you could do all your anime shopping. So I mean, they actually had 2 different dealer rooms to shop in this year. I don't know, my favorite part, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff. But yeah, for those that unfortunately missed it, you can learn more about it at con-g.com. And it did take place this last week in February 25th, 26th at the Holiday Inn Guelph Hotel Conference Center. So, yeah, I think everyone had a good time. Some dealers that were there, it was our friends at Conspiracy Comics, Skylefish Sushi, The Dragon, Vengris Grove, Northern Armor, Stephen Pearl, Sakura Media Arts, Queen of Hearts, Milo Accessories, Sick of Sin, Skyfox Games, Anime Toys, Animator, Brookstar Trading, Golden Coast, Cosplay for the Win, Random Fandom, Cactus Mafia. So a whole bunch of different things in the dealer's marketplace there for for anyone. I mean, whether you're buying pins, cosplay accessories, plushies, I mean they have it there. So but the nice thing is it's more cozy con. So chances are you'll get to meet people and see them again and say hello again and walk away with new friends. Or if it's a big anime convention, you'll see the one person once and you might never see them again.
Yep. So did you have a good time, Mr. Kennedy?
For sure. I mean, I'm almost a little. My voice was sore a little bit from just mingling and talking with so many people throughout the weekend.
Oh, we were talking to tons and tons of people, but unfortunately, due to time constraints, we're going to get one interview. But you know what? We got the best interview with the one, the only, Kyle Albert, which is absolutely fantastic. Yes. So for all the kids who are listening, should we spin our interview by chance?
Yes, I think people will, if they didn't get a chance to meet him there and get his awesome autograph. We had a chance to talk with him, and he gave us some very awesome insights into the anime voice acting world. So,
all right, then. So basically, we're trying out some new technology. We're hoping that everything's been connected properly, and hopefully, all the glue, all the gum and all the bubble gum and the strings are all up in place and stuff like that. So we're gonna play through our interview, and hopefully, this will work out well for everyone who's watching, and should be good times. Should we spin it?
Let's go for it.
All right.
Alright, sorry about the...
Yeah, sorry about the wait there, folks. Unfortunately, we're having some bit of a technical difficulties on our end of things. But, however, let's do this old text style, if you know what I mean. And we'll simply just replay what we got here as much as we can. So, again, folks, please just bear with us through all our fun here. And of course, one of the things about a live radio station is that sometimes things do happen from time to time. And I think I might have found out what was going on. So we'll try this at the very least 2 more times. So we'll try this through here and see what we got going on. So we'll try this one more time. See what we got. Ready? Okay.
There we go. Hey folks, how you doing? It's Pacific coming to you live from the interweb. Anyways, we're here at the fantastic, the one and only Con G. And of course, us running around and doing what we do, we found the magnificent Kyle Hebert. So, Kyle, introduce yourselves for thousands of internet people.
Internet peoples, I'm Kyle Hebert, and I voice anime and video games, most notably the narrator in Teen Gohan from Dragon Ball Z, Ryu in Street Fighter, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, and now for the PS Vita. You can also hear me as Kamina in Gurren Lagann, Aizen in Bleach, Kiba in Naruto, and lots of other stuff. KyleAbear.com. Check it out.
Tons of stuff. So anyway, sir, how did you break into business?
I broke into the business actually from radio. I was a disc jockey for Radio Disney for 9 years.
For 9 years.
Yeah, they were based out of Dallas, and also in Dallas, a little company, you might have heard of them, called Funimation.
Oh, yeah, we heard of Funimation.
They were holding auditions for Dragon Ball Z. I got to try out for Teen Gohan, and I got cast as that. In a few weeks, I started out doing bit parts on Bardock and the end of the Cell Saga, and then kind of spiraled off from there. And so 6 years ago, after working on shows like Blue Gender, Yu Yu Hakusho, and everything, Fullmetal Alchemist, I moved to LA and got onto Bleach and Naruto and Gurren Lagann and all the video game stuff since then.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Here's my question for you. How do you feel about the industry at this stage of the game? Going from different media to going to the different trends and so forth. How do you feel the industry now, and where do you see it actually extending to?
Digital distribution is the future. The way that the fans absorb, consume, and create content has really changed business models all around. For better or worse, it's affected business. You've seen Bandai have to restructure. They're doing away with physical media now. They're going into digital distro only. But it's an exciting time too. I mean, it's kind of like the wild frontier. We don't know where it's going necessarily, but hopefully you're going to see on the anime side of things, fans working with the industry together in concert to kind of keep the industry alive, because we've seen piracy and fan subs kind of obliterate DVD sales, and unfortunately, if there's no money not going back into the system, it's hard to sustain. So hopefully fans will understand the repercussions of just downloading and streaming stuff for free, or torrenting rather. And on the industry side of things, it's very important that they understand and put their shows out quicker, and maybe stream with ads or something. Get the content to the fans faster to help combat piracy.
So, 2 more questions, and obviously you're a busy man, and we'll wrap up our interview. If anyone wanted to break into the industry in today's time, what would you recommend them do?
Well, I think in any sort of acting, it's all about getting experience. You know, voice actors are actors. Actors first. It's not about doing voices. It's not about doing impressions. It really is being good at your craft and being where the work is. So be near a hub where you can take acting workshops, classes, and whatnot. And it depends on your goal. If you want to work in radio commercials and stuff, any major city can get you work in radio TV commercials. You want to work in character-based stuff, video games and stuff, go where the work is for that. I know as far as Canada's concerned, Vancouver is a good hub for that. There's work in Toronto, all that sort of thing. But stateside LA, I think, is the most land of opportunity for character-based voice work.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. And one more question is, we know you do the voice acting, we know you do the video game stuff, we know you have a bunch of things, but when you're not doing all of that and everything else, what do you do for fun? What are your geek hobbies? What's your favorite geeky thing you like to do?
While I'm surfing the net, you know, I'm addicted to my iPhone. You know, I love Facebook and Twitter. I love being social. I have a it's not on Ustream necessarily, but I do a live stream on Stickam all the time and just hang out with friends and be social. You know?
So basically, your favorite geek time is actually going online and being social.
Yeah, I read comics. I mean, I'm an overgrown kid.
What are you reading these days?
Out of the new 52, I'm reading Batman and Justice League.
Batman's a fantastic comic.
Yeah,
Following
great
for the last little while, and it's just absolutely awesome in every way, man.
Good stuff.
All right.
Good stuff.
Well, sir, you're busy. Thank you very much for stopping by a little show here. Awesome. And hope to see you around, sir.
All right.
There we go. So anyways, folks, that's us. This is you. And thank you very much for joining us once again. Please also follow us on our actual radio show coming from CKMS 100.3 on the FM dial. And that's all from us at GCon. See you guys around the block.
So, there we go, my friend. What do you think of that, huh?
It was pretty awesome.
Not too shabby.
If you want to watch a repeat performance of that, it's available on Receppa's YouTube channel, right?
No, unfortunately, my friend, it's not Kennedy_Ryan. It happens to be at ustream.tv/channel/Receppa. That's spelled RCEHOPPE.
If they want to watch, it's also available on YouTube. We were playing it off of there, right? It's also available on your channel on YouTube.
Sure, no problem.
So lots of places to go see it. It's a great interview. If you didn't get a chance to, come out to Conji and go to Kyle Hibber's Q&A, we just brought you the best right there. great insights he has in the past and the present and the future of the anime, industry, basically.
Yeah.
He's smack dab right there, part of Funimation.
And he's doing the video game stuff and everything else like that. So, it's a really cool hodgepodge. So anyways, we're coming on to 11:15. And for those people just tuning in, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Recepit, and basically I am the host of the Comic Book Guys. And of course, keeping us out of trouble is our other host, being Mr. Kennedy. And I'd like to tell you that the Comic Book Guys broadcast through CKMS Sound FM 100.3 on the FM dial. Plus on top, you can stop by their website, which is www.soundfm.ca. Plus on top, if you want to catch us on the Rogers box, you can do as such at 94.6. And when it catches the Ustream and see how we're interacting with you can do as such by once again going to www.ustream.tv/channel/Recepit. That's spelled RCEHOPPE. Plus on top of it, want to get socially interactive with us throughout the duration of the show, you could do as such by hopping on Twitter and basically typing in Ryan_Kennedy. And if we like your tweets, we'll read them on the air.
We do shout outs. If you have anything you'd like to ask us, we'll definitely love to answer your questions.
And plus on top of that, for today and today only, we're actually going to have a little giveaway, Mr. Kennedy. Tweet number 4 will get a little prize that we currently have set up over here at the station. So we're hoping that you can actually join us on the actual Twitter here and send us your thoughts and your ideas. So with all that being said, let's take a quick break and let's play some more songs.
That sounds great.
「
Hey everyone, we're back.
Hey, that wasn't too bad. Who was that, Mr. Kennedy?
That was some more Miku Hatsune Miku from Vocaloid, so...
Excellent. Well, basically, let's pay a couple of bills here. Basically, what's going on here, if you're just tuning in, I'd like to say thank you very much. We are known as the Comic Book Guys Working Title. We're broadcasting out of 100.3 on the FM dial on CKMS, Sound FM, plus on top of it, when I stop by the station's website, you can do as such by going to www.soundfm.ca. Plus on top, you can also catch us on the Rogers box, which is 946. And if you want to get really interactive with us, you can do as such by swinging on by our actual Ustream page, which is basically www.ustream.tv/Recept, and that's spelled RCEHOPPE. Plus on top of that, as I mentioned before we went to break, if you want to win a prize, you can do as such by tweeting us at Ryan_Kennedy. And if we like your tweet, we'll read it on the air, and we're more than happy to interact with you. So the thing is, if you can, basically tune in every Tuesday between noon until 2, and we bring you everything that's fantastically and geeky. And before we went to break, we were talking about this wonderful convention that happens within the Guelph area known as Con G, and just recently we've basically played an interview that we were thankful to have with Kyle Herbert, which is absolutely fantastic. Did several voice acting with all the different the whole cast of characters ready for Dragon Ball Z, Street Fighter, and the list goes on and on and on. So yeah, that's Con G. And if you want to stop by the website, you can do such by going to www.conG-.com. Remember, the Con stands for convention, and the G stands for Guelph. So basically, again, that's www.con-g.com.
So they haven't officially announced their next year's dates yet?
Of course not. Just hey, Mr. Kennedy, give them a little bit of a break here. They just finished having their convention like less than 2 days ago.
But I'm sure
and it was an awesome convention with at least 1,000 people in attendance. So I'm pretty sure the convention people, are at least trying to nap a little bit, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure they'd love for all their convention years to stay in touch for when they do. So you can follow them on Twitter at ConGGuelph, or like them on Facebook at ConG Entertainment. So stay in touch with them.
For sure.
And when they make the announcement, you'll see it first on their social media outlets.
Exactly, and then on top of that, all the other social media outlets are again at www.con-g.com.
right.
They have a YouTube page, they have a Flickr, they have Facebook, they have Twitter. They have the whole ball of wax, folks. So stop on by, support the very nice convention that takes place in Guelph, and that'll be absolutely fantastic of you. So, what else is happening? And speaking of other stuff, as I said before, we basically broadcast all things that are geeky. Anything else happening in the region that
Yes,
people should know about, Mr.
definitely.
Kennedy?
Today, actually, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy's music, stuff by composer Nobuo Uematsu, Distant Worlds is playing tonight at 8 p.m. at the Saturn Square on Queen and Margaret. So
Really?
that's right.
That's not too far away. Center Square is a pretty snazzy
it's
place.
just around the corner, and this is the first time it's had the chance to play in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, which is going to be performed by the awesome KW Symphony and conducted by Arnie Roth. And they've been in Toronto before at the Sony Center for the Performing Arts, but here in the Waterloo region, it's our turn. So, if everyone in the area of my voice can hear me, definitely check it out tonight, Saturn Square, 8 p.m. Tickets are still on sale at the box office. You can go down go down right now and pick some up if you'd like. But if you unfortunately do miss it, it will be playing in the Sony Center next month in Toronto. So,
And also on top of that, KW Sympathy is www.kwsympathy.ca. So all information is on their webpage. You can buy tickets, location, and so forth, and also times. Stop on by the website and have a look at it, because Mr. Kennedy, I believe you're going to this wonderful little shindig.
So if you hear my voice and it's familiar, don't be afraid to say hello. I'll be around.
For sure, and he may have a prize for you, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Never know. But yeah, if you're a fan of any of the Final Fantasies from 1 to 13, 14,
14.2.
That's the best of all of Nobuo Uematsu's music. So if you're a fan, definitely check it out. If not, Distant World Volume 1 and 2 are available on Amazon.ca if you want to listen to the music, or just go ahead and play some more Final Fantasy 13 too.
Yep. And again, if you want to check out Distant World at Center of the Square, you could do as such, and the best website we could direct you to is kwsympathy.ca. So stop on by, basically check out their stuff, and basically again that's spelled www.kwsympathy, spelled SYMPHONY.ca. So stop on by, check out their stuff, and at the same time here, again, Mr. Kenny's very excited to see these people play live, and if Kenny's excited, well, hey, I am happy for him. On your end of things, Mr. Kenny, since it's an actual gaming sympathy, is there any other gaming news that's coming out we should be aware of offhand? That you're aware of at this stage of the game?
Well, I know a lot of people are tickled pink that Mass Effect 3 is on its way.
You say Mass Effect 30?
Mass Effect 3 is on
Oh,
its way.
3? Okay, I thought it said 30. I'm going, what?
No.
We have a game that reached the 30s already? Oh, God, kids, time to get a new game here. So basically, Mass Effect 3 is coming out?
I believe next Tuesday.
Excellent.
The PlayStation Vita just came out. I haven't had a chance to have a hands-on impression of it, but
What is this PlayStation Vita?
It is Sony's next PlayStation Portable.
Okay, so it's like a handheld device,
Yes,
eh?
it's a handheld device,
Alright.
and it's going to have some of your faves on it, actually.
Really?
Such
Like
as
what?
Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Bah.
Mortal Kombat 9.
Bah.
No,
Oh, wait a minute, Mortal Kombat 9? Oh, I thought you said 19, sorry.
Well, maybe the Vita will stick around for Mortal Kombat.
Maybe.
We'll see how long its longevity is.
Does it have Angry Birds?
Eventually, I'm sure it will.
Eventually.
Because it's actually, it has a front touchscreen and a back touchscreen. So.
Did you say you want to touch my back? What? What?
The possibility.
Back touch my back? Are you kidding me? What?
So it just came out. So there's a handful of games out there now, but slowly they'll start trickling in, and it's a really nice device. I mean.
And when was this device launched again?
Sorry?
When was this device launched
It just
again?
came out last week.
Really?
So
Huh.
those that are fortunate to have had a hands-on impression of it, hey, let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, you got a Twitter feed, don't you?
That's right.
So-
@Ryan_Kennedy.
There it is.
Tell us if you think it's the best awesome sauce thing in the world, or if you hate it and you want to take it back to EB Games. Let us know.
For
how
sure,
you like
and we'll
it so
buy it
far.
from you if you hate it for
Hey, there you go.
25% off. How
We'll
about
love
that?
you forever if you donate it towards.
Oh, hey, donation. There we go. Maybe we should ask Sony for an endorsement and so
Yeah.
forth. So any other gaming news coming out which we're aware of?
I have a random geek factoid that I'd love to
Oh,
share.
factoid.
With everybody.
I love factoids.
The adopted daughter of George Lucas is actually a mixed martial arts specialist.
Really?
Did you know that?
Ask me, do I care to know that?
She's an MMA champion
She's
in
what?
Japan right now.
What?
Which I think is.
One second. Repeat that again.
She is an MMA champion in
Are you
Japan.
kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Oh my goodness gracious! So Lucas's adopted daughter
That's
had a little
right.
kick to her step,
That's
does
right. That means
Wow!
as his own bodyguard. He's one
Don't
of
screw
the
around
Lucas
with George
family.
Lucas's daughter. She'll
right.
kick her butt. Wow, man.
But the interesting thing I find out is she might make the transition to pro wrestling one day too. So
You
we
think
might
so?
see her in the square circle one day.
A Lucas in the squared circle. Who would ever tunk that? That's amazing. Wow, you think
Yeah.
something like, something like that should get in like directing or photography or something like that, follow old man's footsteps, but
It's funny because when she enters,
oh wait a minute, you said you said she is her adopted.
yeah.
That's
Well, I don't like to put this out in public, but I'm sure if anyone Wikipedia's George Lucas, they'll find out about this. But apparently he's infertile. He was not able to have his own children.
He can't
so
have
he
babies?
Adopted. three
Can't have
children.
babies.
You can't have babies. No.
Stopped over by
Sorry,
what's his name?
George.
Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's house. Pick up a couple of kids when the missus is off of town, something like that, perhaps. Well, the people in Hollywood, they switch kids all the time. It's okay. So we have that all hooked up. All right, so
We're always
that-
learning something new on our show.
always
That was
something
our
new.
Random geekoid factoid of the week.
Geekdoid, factoid, living in your bum. So anyways, through all of this as well, since Mr. Kennedy is heading off to Center in the Square to take part in this wonderful, fantastic symphony, also, basically, today is Tuesday, and one of the few things I like to do is basically talk about what's happening in the movie industry. Right now, this week is extremely, extremely slow. Reason being is that, well, the Oscars took place, and this year's Oscars wasn't really that fantastic, if you ask me. They were banning people from wearing certain costumes. It just didn't seem to have fun. Plus, on top of that, what was it? The Actor, if that's the right movie, basically swept the Oscars, and on top of all that, it was just a silent film. It wasn't anything too fantastic, as far as I'm concerned. But however, the Academy loved it to pieces and just pushed everything off to the side. I personally think that some of the categories that should have won didn't won, but of course everyone says it every year. I don't know. This is probably the first time, maybe in 7 years, I did not watch the Oscars, and it's like, ugh, what a mess. So basically, right now, news for the actual movie world is a little slow. But however, the thing is that one of the movies I did manage to see since last week was called The Goon. I thought this was an absolutely fantastic, fun movie. It's definitely, I'm going to categorize it as a buddy film.
Oh, good.
Guy film. Go out and see it. Absolutely wonderful. I believe right now it's not within North America. It's actually more domestically. But the thing is that I highly recommend watching it. Lots of fun. And just not for the kids, not for the girlfriend, just for you and your friend. Go out and watch it. Have a good time. Put the brain in the giant bowl of popcorn. And as people know this from past broadcasts, I really don't say too much happiness about, stuff in general. But however, this was a good movie. I liked it. Lots of fun. And, it's pretty difficult for me to find fun movies these days because there's a lot of poop out there, which I'm not too impressed with. So with all that being
So if you're a guy and you have a guy buddy, go see The Goon. If you're a girl and you got your girlfriends with you,
don't see The Goon.
go see The Vow. I
Yeah,
guess
exactly. Now speaking of The Vow, my intuitive young friend, here's our top 5 movies for this that happened over the weekend. At number 5, guess what it is? Take a guess.
Is it Star Wars?
No, The Vow.
The Vow.
You had it.
So it's
You
still
had
in
it.
the top 5.
That's right. So basically, it's the number 5 spot at $10 million. The number one movie last week, which is number 4 this week, which is called Safe House, and that came at 11.4 million. And number 3 is The Journey 2, which came in at 13.5 million. So it looks
Wayne
like
The Rock Johnson.
he's doing a good thing being on TV and doing movie stuff. As I said before, he's definitely an entertainer for the masses. You know what I mean? And then the second movie that came out is Good Deeds at 16 million. And unfortunately, the number 1 movie that came out this weekend, which I'm not really happy with because, you know, I'm not really too big into this particular topic, is a war movie called Act of Valor. And the thing is that supposedly used really army people versus actors in this movie. And I don't know. I never really been too big on horror, on actual army movies because it just seems to be, you know, just a complete reflection of what you see in the news and it seems to be what's all going wrong in today's time. So, you know, something not too big. Not too big on. But however, at the same time here, on a happier note, playing at the Frederick Twin Cinema, and remember kids, today is Double Down Tuesday. Basically get in for 2 toonies or $4 if you will. And they're basically showing The Journey 2 and The Vow. So if you haven't seen those 2 movies, bring your girlfriend, see The Vow. If you want to bring the kids and have a fun, light movie, then Journey 2 may be right up her alley. So with those movies in mind, that's pretty much it for movie news. Anything outside of that is just really mundane stuff. Like as an example, Bruce Willis is shooting a new movie.
Oh, is he?
Details still coming out. I think there's like number 6 in the Die Hard series. A lot of stuff that we talked about from last week. Just to recap really quickly here, Peter Jackson is still talking about that. James Turtles, that's still talking about. Buzz is still buzzing around for Transformers 4, which is basically directed by, you know, the one, the only Michael Bay. And you know, things really haven't changed that much, and again, this is because of the direct effect of the Oscars, so I hope to bring you some more news. As far as comic book stuff goes, not really happening too much in the comic books. You know, the all the stuff that's coming in and out, nothing really to write home about. As mentioned last week, DWI is hiring John Stuner for its marketing. ERB Incorporated for Word is basically suing Dynamite Comic Books for the treatment over John Carr and also Tarzan. And also on top of that, Image reached number 20 years last week in their actual publication. And as far as cartoon goes, not really too much in the whole cartoons things besides of all the massive overdose that we saw cartoons over at Con-G. And again, that's www.con-g.com. And the one that really caught my attention was Transformers Prime. Now, one of the few things I'm not too impressed with is that, I don't know, it's really weird to say, they're really running with some of the old canon stuff. Like, basically, here's some spoilers for you, for all those non-Transformer fans out there. Optimus Prime, this is the queerest thing ever, used to be called Orion Pax. I don't know how they got Orion Pax from Optimus Prime, you know what I mean? And you think being a giant robot that transforms into some sort of truck or some sort of, you know, device like that would have a cooler name than Orion Pax. And I guess, I don't know.
That's the only connection I see.
What's that? OP? Yeah, you know, that's definitely there. But I thought it was like a dumb name even back when I was a kid. But however, they're playing it again now. But the thing is that the script is obviously a lot better than the old Transformers 80s cartoons. On the scale of 1 to 10, I gave it a solid 7. Solid 6, possibly 7, so not too bad. They're really playing up on things. The animation, which I wasn't too big fond of, was all CGI, is working quite well. Let me get some tea here for a second. Is working quite well for the actual storyline they're actually, you know, playing with. So it works pretty good. So basically, again, last Saturday was Transformers Prime Part 2 season premiere, and I believe they're going to wrap the whole thing up in Orion Pax Part 3, and should be interesting where the storyline actually takes us. On top of all that, you also had Archer, which is always fun, but Archer's falling a little bit flat for yours truly, because it's sort of like, you're sort of expecting, you know, fun stuff, fun times, things sort of out of the ordinary, so it's getting a little blah for yours truly. But if you haven't seen any Archer stuff, I highly recommend that as well. So, so that concludes our movie, comic books, and also cartoon segment. So, how about this? Let's spin a couple more songs, at least 2 more, and then we'll do our wrap up for the show.
That's right.
And we'll take it from there. How's that sound to you, Mr. Kennedy?
Sounds good to me.
Excellent. Spin it.
Awesome. Cool Angel Thesis. What a classic anime song.
Not too
by
bad at
Hatsune
all.
Miku.
Not
So,
too bad at all. So all those kids who are watching us on Ustream, which is basically www.ustream.tv/channel/recepit, saw us packing things up because it's almost that magical time when we say goodbye to everyone,
That's right.
and we come back in exactly 7 days from now talking about all things geek. And if you're just tuning in, sorry kids, you missed the show. We are the Comic Book Guys Working Title. This is show number 20.
Yes,
We
one
broadcast.
milestone, number 20.
There you go. We broadcast out of 100.3 on the FM dial on CKMS Sound FM. If you want to stop by the station's website, you can do as such by going to www.soundfm.ca. If you want to hear us live through the actual Rogers network, you can do as such by basically punching in 946. Plus, on top of that, we're always asking people to be interactive with us. You can stop by our Twitter account, which is Ryan_Kennedy.
You got it.
There you go. So if you got the Twitter, you know exactly what that means. Again, once again, that's Ryan_Kennedy.
That's right. Keep in touch with us throughout the week.
Yep.
And let us know what you'd like to hear. If there's any shout outs, questions, comments, let us know. We're interested in hearing it.
For sure. We value your time with us, and would like to say thank you very much for joining us today. And of course, we'll be back in 7 days' time to bring you more wonderful, fantastic, geeky stuff and what else we could find in between. So before we sign off, is there anything on which to add, Mr. Kennedy?
No, I think, I hope everyone just has a great week, and we'll see everyone later.
For sure. Thank you very much for your time and trouble. And again, we'll see you in 7 days. Mr. Kennedy, to play some Smith on the way out, please.
Oh, we'll see here what we got.
Excellent.
See you later, guys.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye-bye. 20 in the can. Bye-bye.